Rozier looks, wants to get it to Tatum. Tatum turns, Tatum drives, layup is up. Count it, and a foul! Now Tatum can put them up by one. No good. And we'll go to double overtime. Tatum, 3 to shoot. Puts it up. Won't go. Fight for the rebound. Taken by Satoransky, and it's over. The Wizards survive in double overtime.
It was an epic battle last night between two teams who are both without most of their stars. The C's without Kyrie Irving, Al Horford, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart. The Wiz had no John Wall, but Washington trailed by as many as 20 points, came back to win it 125-124 in double OT. Stephen A., what's your biggest takeaway from that game last night?
My biggest takeaway from last night's game, outside of the fact that Boston, I mean, my goodness, without Kyrie Irving, without Jaylen Brown, we know Gordon Hayward wasn't there. I fantasized about what Boston would have been with those three, healthy and in a lineup all season long. It might be something special to behold, but I will tell you this, my biggest takeaway from last night's game, the experiment is over. The Washington Wizards need John Wall back. They need John Wall back. Quick, fast, and in a hurry, in the worst way. They've got no shot at doing anything when it really, really counts without John Wall. It was really a nice story to watch Bradley Beal and this kid, Tomas Satoransky. He's big. He's a bigger guard. He could shoot. He's in the right place at the right time. Doris Burke was helping to call the game last night. She does a phenomenal job, and she was pointing out all of those things, and she's absolutely right. All of that's true. But they need John Wall because Bradley Beal, without John Wall, doesn't get it done enough in the fourth quarter. He can ball. He puts up great numbers. He's a star in this league. He's an all-star. Got a lot of love for him. But he needs help in that fourth quarter because when he has to create and shoot, it doesn't seem like he can do both. Okay, key pivotal turnover in regulation, couple of missed threes as well, what have you. The bottom line is you need the playmaker that is John Wall. We've talked so much about how better the Washington Wizards have looked without him. And to some degree, it was true. But then they lost 5 of their last 7 coming into last night's game. And we see the absence of playmakers. We see how stagnant they get without him. The experiment is over. No more talk about what the Wizards are without John Wall. Without John Wall, they're a team that squeaks into the playoffs and gets their butt bounced out in the first round. With John Wall, you have the potential to get to the conference finals. There is nothing to talk about. There's no more suspense. John Wall has to get healthy. The doctor out in Cleveland, hopefully he'll clear him to play sooner than later. He needs to get back in the lineup. They need him because without him, the Washington Wizards are going home in the first round. There is no chance, I repeat, no chance that they are getting out of the first round without John Wall. It's that simple.
What happens when you lose your best player? John Wall's clearly their best player, and
clearly
they've discovered things in his absence, moving the ball, not just for high pick and roll. That doesn't work. High pick and roll again. Coach Fizdale went over this on Countdown. I told you a couple of weeks ago, I thought brilliantly. So they've learned things maybe they can incorporate when he gets back. But, yeah, you lose your best player, that's what happens. Only the Celtics lost their best player in Kyrie Irving. That's a 4.5-star guy, 5 MVP, 4 All-Star. Al Horford, another 4-star player, All-Star caliber player. Gordon Hayward, who's gone for the whole season, 4-star player, All-Star caliber player. Jaylen Brown, it's at least a 3-star player. He's a starter on most teams. Marcus Smart, one of the better reserves, if you consider him a bench player, in the NBA. I just named a hell of a starting 5. If you told me, hey, there's a team, Kyrie Irving and Marcus Smart in the backcourt with Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, and Al Horford, I'd be like, damn, that's a good team. That team wasn't playing last night, and the Celtics lost in double overtime to the Wizards. In double OT with Tatum with an open look, an open shot that just, rimmed out for the win in double OT. This Celtics team that Danny Ainge has constructed is absurdly deep and absurdly well coached. I mean, I hate to say this. Cleveland going forward, I don't have much hope for Cleveland going forward. I don't trust the organization. Washington going forward, nope. The East in the foreseeable future is a 2-team division or conference because that's where the brains are. They're with Masai Ujiri in Toronto. They're with Danny Ainge in Boston. And you see the results. Dwayne Casey and Brad Stevens well-coached, selfless teams with excellent players that go 10 and 11 deep. That's my takeaway.
It's interesting that you bring that up, Max, because I don't disagree with you, but that elevates the level of urgency that Washington has to legitimately compete now, because this might be their last chance. This might be their last chance to be that team that we're talking about with the potential to get to the conference finals. Listen, let me tell you this right now. Gortat, to a lesser degree, Beal, and whatever other dudes who have been chirping outside the Verizon Center in the nation's capital, Chocolate City, all of those cats that were chirping about John Wall, they owe this man an apology. If you recall, when he went down, they started winning some games and playing well. They went on a little hot streak. They were talking about moving the basketball, everybody gets to eat, and all of this other stuff. Those were shots at John Wall. There is no way around it. And I'm not even saying they weren't justified at that particular moment in time, because the ball was moving more fluidly without him. The other guys were getting an opportunity to eat. Otto Porter Jr. and Kelly Oubre, they elevated their level of play. Morris, let's not forget him, because he's been balling nicely for them as well. All of these guys were getting more opportunities, but a few of them were talking indirectly at John Wall. They were taking shots. Bradley Beal, it was nice to hear him publicly acknowledge last night they need John Wall, but other guys, not Bradley Beal, but other guys, whoever they were, owe that man an apology. They were talking smack about him. They were chirping about him. They were acting like, oh my Lord, the nation's capital is a better place. Without John Wall, you better step back and apologize. Go to the flower shop, call 1-800-Flowers, buy him something, take him out to dinner, just show an appreciation. Because right now, the way the Washington Wizards look without him, I'm sorry. I don't give a damn that they beat Boston last night. You didn't have Kyrie. You didn't have Jaylen Brown. You didn't have Gordon Hayward. Did Al Horford play? I don't even think Al Horford played last night.
Al Horford didn't play.
And you still went to double overtime.
And you still went to double overtime. And the Celtics got the last shot on the they had an open look to win.
And by the way, Jason Tatum should have took it to the hole. You were only down one. You didn't need a three.
That's right.
You didn't need to take a long jump and take it to the rack, get fouled or something.
Think about what you're saying about the Celtics. That's why the Celtics are my takeaway, Stephen A. Imagine if it's not just that they didn't have John Wall, but imagine if the Wizards also didn't have Bradley Beal, and they also didn't have Otto Porter, and they also didn't have Gortat, and they also didn't have one or two other guys important, like, Oubre, whatever. Now imagine they still went to double overtime with a playoff team and lost by the way they did.
Basically,
the Celtics
basically what you're saying is 4 of their 5 starters were out, and 5 of their top 6 players were out, and they still took the Washington Wizards to overtime, and these brothers walking around like they want a cookie. You understand? I mean, you got to be kidding me. I don't want to hear it. They got to get John Wall back, and by the way, when he gets back, appreciate him a little bit more than you were. Like it's official. It's official now. The experiment is over. Get John Wall back, or you go home in the first round. It's that simple.
All right. Wizards are now 5th in the East. The Celtics are 2nd, 4.5 games back from Toronto. Still to come, one of our guys flat out does not want to see LeBron James in the NBA Finals again this year. You don't want to miss that debate. Plus, Jay Billis joins the debate desk to talk about Tubby Smith's firing at Memphis. Was it the wrong move? We've got differing opinions, people. Stay tuned.